Okay. Basically, hi. My name's Alex Lim. Most people call me Phatboy Lim, with a PH for Philippines. uh, basically, the idea was we started out as a group of. Well, I consider ourselves fans of music, so especially local music from the very beginning in Cebu. What we did when we started out like doing a lot of events for bands, underground bands before, and we used to do a production back then called Neoground. It was more of a well, the idea was to just come out with like a lot of gigs for like up and coming Cebuano bands. So that was a start. Before actually managing Urbandub, I used to also manage other bands that were also an independent bands in Cebu. Basically, it started out like that, and Ralph was also part of that group of street team that we were we started basically we created the street team with Ralph heading it to promote. He was what, like high school?
Yeah, 7 years high school.
Yeah, first year high school. So what he did was he compiled a lot. Oh, like, well, he gathered around a lot of friends from different.
Kids.
Yeah,
High school kids.
well, your batch, you know.
Yeah, my batch of high school kids.
So they started out have like community meetings. They go to one mall
Yeah.
to meet up,
And then we'd talk about the scene in the Cebu, in the industry in Cebu, and like new music and new bands coming out, and like how to promote them within the campuses,
so
the
this
different
was
campuses.
back then when like Cebu music was still well, there was a scene already in Cebu, but then we started trying to, I guess, highlight them more, not just for us fans, but for the newer, like because Ralph before was still like in his high school days, so wanted their part of the generation to know what the Cebu music was. So that's how actually got what led me to actually start managing bands. So we had the bands, we had the bands, and then they were the audience basically, or they were the community that was going to the gigs. Now you might ask why, how come these guys can go to our gigs when they were still in high school? Well, it's there's a part of that story that we can't tell, but it happened. um, well, well, as far as actually the rise of the independence in Cebu, yes, but I've been well, I don't want to say that we're in the same age because like I'm just older for 1 year lang, so I guess I'm a bit older, so so we started out like I started out like in a band and then going to gigs, and then because there were a lot of good bands who I believe that should be highlighted, so I started doing gigs. That's how it started. Uh, when Urban Dub started, I was there because of the mere fact that one of the member is my sister, which is Lalay Lim. So I remember back then when they used to practice at the basement of our house, and I used to remember that I was still managing two bands back then, um, and this was already doing events, and then they were jamming downstairs. I heard their songs, and at first I thought it was just like a fun thing, fun and games, a hobby thing, but there was something for me, I guess, magical the first time I heard an urban dub song from the basement, because there was that I guess melodic factor that really got into me, like the first song. I think they were practicing Come back then, and then it was really like a that there was something with the band Urban Dub the first time you hear it.
I'm closest with everyone.
Safe
No,
is
it's
the
because
answer.
uh, no, with everyone, because I hang out with them differently. Like the getting to know stage when I was here in Manila, getting to know stage with the band was me hanging out with them and their different groups of people. So groups of friends, like with Gabby and John with their friends, and Lalai and John and with their friends. So I'm fairly almost closest to everyone.
Yeah, and to add on also, being a road manager, I guess you have to like fit into different kind of shoes per member, like per band that you manage. Because as me as a manager, I look at it also as a whole. But then sometimes there's usually bias because of, like knowing that like one of the members, my sister. That's basically I can say I was closest to my sister. I can't say I'm closest to like the other ones. Like, well, although we are close in a more I guess over the years I guess we got closer. But of course from the start I was closer more to my sister. But the beauty about Urbandub is that it's not really that hard to get close to them. I guess it's not something that I mean, I remember like like the times that we had problems and everything. I guess it can easily be solved. So that means that I guess the friendship is still there, even though that there's like some industry problems that we passed through along the way. But yeah, I mean, we've been around with them for 10 years, so I guess that proves a lot. You know.